Have you ever wondered why some people seem to be in a perpetual cycle of relationships, never staying in one place for too long? It's a pattern that's both fascinating and frustrating, and it often points to a deeper psychological trait known as narcissism. In this video, we'll delve into the minds of those who can't seem to hold on to love, exploring the reasons behind their constant search for new partners. From a need for admiration to an inability to handle rejection, we'll uncover the complex motivations that drive narcissists to run from one relationship to another. So if you're curious about the inner workings of these elusive individuals and how their behavior affects those around them, stay tuned. This is a journey into the heart of human connection and the enigma of narcissism. Narcissists often move from one relationship to another because they constantly need validation. This need comes from deep insecurities and low self-esteem. They seek constant praise and admiration to feel good about themselves. At the start of a relationship, a narcissist may shower their partner with excessive attention, compliments, and love. This phase is known as love bombing. They do this to make their partner fall for them and provide the admiration they need. This boosts the narcissist's ego and makes them feel important and special. As the relationship continues, the initial excitement fades and the partner's compliments may become less frequent. This makes the narcissist feel insecure and unimportant. They may start to criticize and belittle their partner to feel superior again. Their need for constant praise pushes them to look for new sources of admiration. Narcissists often have unrealistic expectations in relationships. They expect their partners to always admire and praise them, not understanding that healthy relationships involve mutual support and compromise. Narcissists feel disappointed and unappreciated when their partners can't meet these high expectations. This disappointment drives them to seek new relationships where they hope to find the intense validation they got in the beginning. Social media and dating apps make it easy for narcissists to find new sources of validation. They can quickly connect with new people, seeking the next ego boost. This technology makes it easier for them to move on when their current partner isn't praising them enough. Narcissists are also very sensitive to criticism and rejection. Even small criticisms can hurt their fragile egos. When faced with criticism or a lack of admiration, they quickly seek new relationships to escape these painful feelings. This creates a cycle where they constantly seek new partners to maintain their self-worth. Narcissists often run from one relationship to another due to their fear of intimacy. This fear is rooted in their deep-seated insecurities and the fragile nature of their self-esteem. Intimacy requires vulnerability, honesty, and emotional openness, which are daunting for narcissists. They perceive these elements as threats to their carefully constructed self-image. For a narcissist, maintaining control over their image is paramount. Intimate relationships, however, demand a level of exposure that they find uncomfortable. When a relationship starts to require genuine emotional investment and the sharing of personal weaknesses, narcissists feel their facade cracking. They fear that their flaws and insecurities will be exposed, which could lead to rejection or abandonment. To avoid this potential humiliation, they often choose to exit the relationship before reaching that level of emotional depth. Another aspect of their fear of intimacy is their tendency to idealize new relationships. At the beginning of a relationship, narcissists often shower their partners with attention and affection, a phase known as love bombing. This idealization stage boosts their ego and provides a sense of excitement. However, as the relationship progresses and the initial novelty wears off, maintaining this idealized image becomes increasingly difficult. The inevitable imperfections and conflicts that arise in any relationship threaten the narcissist's need for admiration and validation. Escape the discomfort and disappointment of a reality that fails to meet their grandiose expectations. They move on to a new partner who can provide fresh adoration and excitement. Narcissists struggle with a chronic fear of dependency. Intimacy implies a mutual dependence that contradicts their desire for superiority and self-sufficiency. They are uncomfortable with the idea of relying on someone else or being relied upon, as it diminishes their sense of autonomy and control. This discomfort often leads them to sabotage the relationship when it begins to demand mutual support and commitment. Narcissists are often emotionally unavailable. They lack the empathy and emotional depth necessary for a healthy, intimate relationship. Their emotional detachment prevents them from forming genuine connections, making it easier for them to abandon relationships when they start to require deeper emotional involvement. Instead of working through the challenges that come with intimacy, they opt to flee, seeking new relationships that offer the superficial validation they crave without the demands of true emotional closeness. Narcissists have an intense desire for control in their relationships, which stems from deep-seated insecurities and fragile self-esteem masked by a facade of superiority. Their need for control manifests in several ways, including manipulation and domination. They often employ tactics like gaslighting, emotional blackmail, and guilt-tripping to make their partner feel inadequate or dependent, maintaining their position of power. Fear of vulnerability drives them to control relationship dynamics to avoid appearing weak or flawed, keeping their partners at an emotional distance to ensure they never lose the upper hand. Additionally, narcissists crave constant admiration and validation. When a relationship no longer provides the adoration they seek, they quickly move on to someone new who will fulfill this need, controlling the narrative to remain the center of attention and feed their ego. Narcissists have difficulty accepting responsibility for their actions, so in a controlled relationship, they deflect blame onto their partner to avoid accountability for problems or failures. When faced with criticism or the prospect of being held accountable, they often escape to a new relationship where their flaws are not yet recognized. Maintaining the illusion of a perfect relationship is crucial to a narcissist. When the facade begins to crack through arguments, challenges to their authority, or a partner seeing through their behavior, they often flee to a new relationship where they can re-establish their idealized image. Their identity is closely tied to their ability to control their surroundings, including their relationships. Continually moving from one partner to another, they can reinvent themselves and avoid confronting their deep-seated issues. This perpetual motion helps them maintain a grandiose self-image and avoid the introspection that might threaten their fragile ego. Narcissists often run from one relationship to another due to their perpetual need for excitement and novelty. This trait is rooted in their tendency to become easily bored, which drives them to constantly seek new experiences and sources of stimulation. They thrive on the thrill of the chase. The initial stages of a relationship, filled with passion and excitement, captivate them. They enjoy the attention, admiration, and validation that come with being the center of someone's world. Once the relationship stabilizes and the excitement wanes, they start to lose interest. Narcissists typically form superficial attachments, focusing more on the surface-level aspects of relationships rather than developing deep, emotional bonds. This superficiality makes it easier for them to move on quickly when the novelty fades, as they are not truly invested in their partner's feelings or the relationship's depth. The fear of monotony and routine can be particularly pronounced in narcissists. They crave constant stimulation and are always looking for new ways to keep themselves entertained. When a relationship begins to settle into a routine, they may perceive it as dull and seek new partners to reignite the excitement they crave. Narcissists often pursue instant gratification. They want immediate rewards and can become impatient if their needs are not met promptly. This desire for instant gratification can lead them to abandon stable relationships in search of new ones that promise immediate excitement and admiration. Their lack of emotional resilience also plays a role. Narcissists struggle with managing the ups and downs of long-term relationships. Instead of working through challenges and building a deeper connection, they prefer to escape to a new relationship that offers a fresh start without the baggage of unresolved issues. Narcissists tend to idealize their partners at the beginning of a relationship, seeing them as perfect and showering them with attention. However, once the partner's flaws become apparent, narcissists quickly devalue them. This cycle of idealization and devaluation fuels their need to move on to new relationships where they can repeat the process.